Oh, hey there. Hey everyone, it's Aisha and welcome back to my channel. If you can't tell, I'm super excited about today's topic. Today we are talking about must-read books if you're looking to change your life, and not only change your life, but better yourself as an entrepreneur, especially when you're in the real estate business. I'm going to talk through the top 5 books that really changed my life and help better me as a real estate business person. If you're not involved in real estate specifically, I still suggest watching this video because I talk through books that aren't just specific to real estate. They can help you overall if you're looking to be a full-time entrepreneur. I go through periods of, reading a lot of books at one time and reading a lot, and then other periods where I go through, months without opening a single book. So I'm trying to be more consistent and again, read more in general. So if this is a resolution of yours, whether it's a New Year's resolution or just, a month or a day resolution that you just decided you're going to read more, these are some great books to start with. Some of these books made a huge impact when it came to reevaluating my career in corporate and helping me set up my businesses in order to get me to the point where I can support myself financially and be independent away from corporate life and have myself my own business. A lot of these books really helped change my perspective and change my life when it came to me being involved in corporate America and finding myself reevaluating my career trajectory. If you've been following me and you know me by now, then you know I'm not a person for flash or fluff. I really get down to the point, and I'm very transparent. Whenever I talk about a topic, I usually try to evaluate it from both sides to give you guys the most information possible. So not only will I go through the books that I like, but I'll actually talk about what specifically about each book I think is really crucial to you. And if you do find yourself interested in one or more than one of the books that I talk about, feel free to purchase them in the link below in the description. And as always, before we get started, feel free to like this video because it does help when my content performs, and I would really appreciate it from you guys. And if you have any questions about any of the books I talk about, or if you've read any of them and have your own takes or any parts that really resonated with you, please let me know in the comments below. And with that, let's jump right in. So book number 1 speaks specifically to the real estate entrepreneurs that follow me, and the book is called All Real Estate is Local. When I was first getting involved in learning as much as I could about real estate, before I started my business and at the very beginning of my business, I did my best to read as many books as possible. And so I wasn't buying them, I was actually going to my local library and just renting a bunch of books at a time. This is one of the books I got, and even though it's a little bit older, it had a lot of lessons in there that I really still try to apply today to my business. I think one of the biggest thing it teaches you is that real estate is very localized, which means there are a lot of local factors that will affect the market you're looking into and make it very different than a different market. We can say everything we want about, nationwide trends in real estate, but at the end of the day, no matter how a market is doing, there's going to be areas of markets that are very different than national trends. The book details a number of local factors and how they affect the market, and basically how you can use those to analyze real estate deals in your area. It also walks through a number of other really important factors. This is where I first started learning about all the tax benefits associated with owning property. It also gives you really simple ways of thinking or really simple formulas to apply when you're looking for properties that will benefit your portfolio specifically. Book number 2 is a must-read not only for people who are looking to be successful in real estate, but who are just looking to be successful entrepreneurs overall. That book is the infamous Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I heard a lot of things about the book before I read it, and honestly, there's a lot of people who don't like it and don't like the author for many reasons, but I found this book incredibly helpful, just changing my way of thinking when it comes to, how corporations are run and how economies are structured. It really details out how and why working for, businesses and other corporations won't make you wealthy, and how it's important to essentially work for yourself to build up wealth. It also details out exactly how wealthy people make money work for them. Another really big thing I got out of it was shifting my mindset and just finding new ways of thinking that seem counterintuitive. For example, it really redefines what we think an asset and a liability is, and how a lot of people own things that they think are assets and actually benefit them, but in fact they're liabilities. And this is why people who are constantly working and are considered either, middle class or just not wealthy will never get there with the mindset that they have. Again, I know a lot of people think this book is very controversial, but I will say there is a reason that book is very popular. And again, if these books sound really interesting to you, I made it easy and included the links to purchase in the description below. Okay, so book number 3, and it's another book that is specific to real estate. The book is called The New No-Nonsense Landlord. This book is great if you are a beginner to the real estate industry and you're just looking to build a foundation of knowledge of how to build a real estate portfolio that is successful. The author fleshes out the basics of what is really considered a deal when it comes to buying a property. They also walk through the process of not only what is considered a deal, but also how to find a property. They also walk through things like saving money throughout the process and just general good business advice as you build your own real estate portfolio. This book is great because what I found with a lot of real estate blogs and just, research that I've done in the past was before it was just, oh, find a deal, find a deal, find a deal. And no one really talked through exactly what a good deal is or, like how to really find it. So this book really helped define that for me. Number 4 is another classic when it comes to not only real estate, but just entrepreneurship overall. And it is called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And when I say classic, I really mean classic. This book was written in 1937 and was really a pioneer in the self-help book industry before it really was the industry that it is. Probably even before self-help was the industry that it is and as lucrative as it was, like this book was the forefront of all of that. It explains, those early ideas of self-help, manifestation, and positive self-talk, all those things that help you become more confident as a person, be sure of yourself, and help push you towards success without really, using a lot of buzzwords, because back then all those buzzwords didn't exist. I really like this book because, again, it kind of cuts down on the fluff and really gets to the basics of each point and exactly why it's helpful. I think a lot of people talk about positive self-talk, manifestation, and all these kind of self-help buzz terms without really explaining the background as to why it really shifts your mindset and the impact it actually has. And I feel like this book does a good job of laying that foundation and really describing that. The author breaks down the book into 13 principles to master, with the idea is that after you've mastered all of those, you're really on the trajectory to think like a rich person and grow rich, not only, physically, but mentally, emotionally, in all areas of life. And like I said, for a book being written so long ago, it really is still relevant today and can still make a really big impact on your life. And number 5, I can't believe we're at number 5 already. I feel like I'm talking so fast, but I just love books and this is just a video that I've been excited to make for such a long time. Number 5 is called You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. Disclaimer, before I talk about this book, I will say I'm not really into, corny, fluffy self-help books, and I really thought this was going to be one of those books, but someone recommended it to me, so I went ahead and obliged and bought it and read it. And let me tell you, parts of this book were some of the most impactful that I've ever had a book make on my life. The whole book in general is about tapping into your self-confidence, how to stop doubting yourself, and really set yourself on a really intentional path to greatness. It also talks about, not just settling and how to level up your dreams and really providing you that toolkit to be able to do that and achieve something higher than you even probably had imagined for yourself. I really like the personal examples and anecdotes she gives too, to kind of give a description so it doesn't feel as, vague and fluffy. It's like, this is exactly how this manifested in this particular scenario, which examples always help me. There's this crazy idea that she presents early on in the book called the Big Snooze, and basically it's about forces of the world, whether natural or supernatural, that try to hold you in mediocrity because the universe overall doesn't really want chaos. It wants to keep things in line. So whenever you try to make a big change in your life, whether, positive or negative, that disruption causes disruption back to you. It's about how you have to fight through a lot of that disruption and realize you have to keep going. So it's basically like breaking down obstacles on your path to greatness, as you will encounter a lot of them. This was really life-changing for me because when I made a really huge shift in my life, I made a pretty drastic decision that I knew was going to be very, very positive for myself. As soon as I put that decision out into the world, I felt like one thing went wrong, another thing went wrong, something else went wrong. And I think if I hadn't read that passage before, I would have doubted my decision a lot more. And at the end of the day, just like I knew, that decision was one of the best things I could have done for myself. So thank you to that book for really help, assuring me and not letting me doubt myself in my decisions. So there it is, 5 of the most impactful books for entrepreneurs and real estate entrepreneurs specifically. I love reading, I love books. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that. I'm going to say it again, probably 10 more times in all my videos because I'm annoying like that. But there are a number of other books that I felt have been super impactful for me. It was really hard for me to narrow it down to 5 books. So that's why I'm saying this video is a part 1, because I do want to do more parts in the future. I think a lot of us get caught up in our own lives, in our own personal environment, and it's hard to remember sometimes that there is a world so much bigger than us, and I feel like books help bring that to us, bring us different experiences without really even leaving the comfort of our home. We're able to experience different things and really look into the mindset of other people who have achieved so much, which is why I feel like self-help books and books that just provide a lot of knowledge really are super impactful. If you've read any of these books and you found them super impactful on your life or have a really positive story about them, I would love to hear about it in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, also be sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. I really tried to put out videos that help people with real estate entrepreneurship, rental properties, everything in the real estate arena, and I'm trying to expand out into entrepreneurship in general, and I put out weekly content regarding these topics. As always, I really try to provide helpful information that will help you guys in your real estate or entrepreneurship journeys in general. So with that, thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.